Happening, everybody. Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. Continue to hit the like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because I upload every day. Now, game one of the finals is over, and I got a big smile on my face because the Lakers dominated. They went down 13 early in the first quarter and then just completely obliterated the Heat after that. And the biggest reason for that is why they mortgaged the future. It's why they sent out Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart in the first rounders. Because of Anthony Davis. There's nothing that the Miami Heat can do with Anthony Davis. Their best defender on their team, or one of their best defenders on the team, is Bam Adebayo. He tried to guard AD. He couldn't do nothing with him. Maybe their first or second best defender on their team, Jimmy Butler. He tried to guard AD. There was nothing he could do. Anthony Davis scored at will against the Miami Heat. And now the Heat, it's gotten even worse because not only did Anthony Davis score 34 points, not only did he pull down 9 boards, he had 5 assists. LeBron did his LeBron-type thing, 25, 13, and 9, I think. Yeah, so the Lakers are clearly the better team. We all knew that. This is why they were the heavy favorites. This is no surprise in any of this. But the problem that the Heat are going to run into is not the fact that they lost this game, because it's just one game. We don't want to overreact to one game. But Goran Dragic is hurt. And a lot of people don't realize Goran Dragic led this team in scoring throughout the playoffs. Goran Dragic is not just like no small replaceable player. He's huge for this team. He is huge for this team. And not only is Goran Dragic hurt, but Bam Adebayo, who is already overmatched. Like, let's just call it what it is. He's dealing with Dwight. He's having to battle with Dwight. He's having to try to guard Anthony Davis. And for them to be successful, they need him to be not around his season average, which is around 15, 16 points per game. They need him to be more like he was in that Celtics series where he was at 22 points per game. And he's just not able to do that and give you the defensive, assignment that he's got on the other end, whether it's guarding AD or getting switched on to LeBron James. It's just impossible for him because he's in his 3rd or 4th year in his career. Like, he's still a puppy in this league. But he's hurt. And not only is that assignment like damn near impossible for him to guard AD, LeBron, and battle with Dwight on the boards, but now his shoulder's compromised. His shoulder's injured. And you still got LeBron who's 100%, and you still got AD who's 100%, and Goran Dragic is hurt, and Jimmy twisted an ankle, and we don't know his status. He played the rest of the game, but we don't know if that's going to swell over time or what. I mean, once again, I don't want to get too high on one game because you know what? Lakers hit 11 threes. They went 11 for 17 from the three-point line in the first half of this game. Ain't no way in hell they're going to do that again. I just don't see it. I don't see that really happening. They turned back into a pumpkin is what I call it. They went from, a carriage back to a pumpkin in the second half because they only made 4 and they shot, another 20 and went 4 for 20 in the second half. So that's more like what the Lakers are going to do. 4 for 21 in the second half. That's more like they're not that great of a shooter. I mean, but they were shooting the lights out of the ball. I mean, they still shot 40%, 39.5% from the three-point for the game, but ain't no way in hell they're going to, make 80, 65% of the threes in the first half again. I just don't see that. But so what is the solution for Miami? Like, what can Miami do to try to turn this around? I mean, there's not really much they can do. I mean, once again, the Lakers weren't a heavy favorite coming into this series. Most people picking them to win in 4 and 5 games for no reason. Like, they have the 2 best players, like, substantially better players than anybody on the Heat. But what the Heat will have to do, one bright spot that they can take out of this game is to play Kendrick Nunn. Now, people have forgotten about Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn is no slouch. Kendrick Nunn is a hooper. Kendrick Nunn made first-team All-Rookie over his teammate Tyler Herro during the regular season. Kendrick Nunn started every single game pre-pandemic, pre-COVID, pre-NBA bubble. He was the starting point guard on this Heat team and averaged about 15 points per game. Well, they're going to need him to become that Kendrick Nunn again because ever since they got in the bubble, I think he got sick, he had to leave the bubble, and he's just never gotten his rhythm, he's never gotten his flow, he's never gotten his minutes back. Tyler Herro emerged, and Kendrick Nunn never got his minutes back. Well, hell, he's going to have to play now. And he's going to have to not only play, but he's going to have to produce because we have now figured out, at least after game one, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, when the defense locks in on them, there's no Goran Dragic out there creating mismatches. And when the offense is on attack mode, Anthony Davis can't be stopped, and LeBron James is doing what he does, and KCP and Danny Green are hitting shots. When the Heat are in a desperation mode, we kind of saw it yesterday, at least for one game. I don't want to overhype one game again, but for one game, Tyler Herro, when that defense came in keyed on him, and that defense is running Duncan Robinson off the threes, they ain't the same player. They aren't the same players. They're not hitting those shots they were hitting against Boston. Because guess what? The Lakers ain't Boston. The Lakers ain't going to mess around with you like Boston. Tyler Herro ain't going to get matched up on a guy like Kemba Walker. Instead of Kemba Walker guarding him, it's KCP. It's Danny Green. It's LeBron James switching off on him. That's a different animal, and that's Kyle Kuzma. I'm not even going to sleep on Kyle Kuzma and Rajon Rondo and act like these guys, when they want to lock in defensively, they can play. And then you got to go guard them on the other end. Whether it's KCP knocking down threes, Danny Green knocking down threes, Rondo being a playmaker, and Kyle Kuzma cutting to the basket and making big shots. That's a tough assignment for a guy that was in high school 2 years ago. Like, that's not easy for Tyler Herro. It looked easy against Boston, right? Because they weren't putting the pressure on them. There was no AD and no LeBron James to make those subsidiary players, those secondary players better. Tyler Herro's got a tall task, man, but he's going to have to jack up some more shots, and he's going to have to make some more shots because there were a lot of shots. Herro got some open looks. He got some open looks. He just was not knocking them down like he was in that Boston series. I mean, he went 6 for 18, only 2 for 8 from 3. That's tough, man. But Kendrick Nunn in 20 minutes had 18 points. That's something you can build off of because he's probably going to have to be inserted in the starting lineup with no Goran Dragic. I think he tore something in his foot. And he's probably going to be out the rest of the series. I mean, he's going to try to fight through it. And even if he does fight through it, it's going to be compromised. It's not going to be the same player. So, Lakers, but they're so locked in. They're so focused. LeBron James, after the game, told his teammates, because they were celebrating too much. And he's like, man, what the hell are y'all celebrating for? This is one game. This is the finals. The job's not done. You got to keep that mentality. And the fact that LeBron James has that mentality right now, it's just going to be a long series for the Heat. Or going to be a quick series for the Heat because the Lakers might just sweep them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. I'll see you next time.